So number one rule before you get started working on anything, make sure the breaker is turned off, and then even double check it and measure it once you're out at the system. You do not want to grab a hold of live electricity. So make sure your breaker is turned off before you get started, and double check and measure it once you're out there. All right, I'll probably title this Matala, and then if you look real close at the model number, HK-60L, this is a septic pump aerator, and mine's been overheating and it stops running. This thing should be running 24/7 and cost about $10 of electricity a month. I turned off the breaker that goes to these three wires, so these three wires are no longer hot, so I can touch them without getting electrocuted. This is the pipe that goes off to the septic system that keeps my septic system from stinking when it sprays our septic sewage in the yard. And that's what, in the country, you have aerobic septic systems, that's what they do. So I make these videos not only for other people that might get something out of it, but I also make it out for me, so later on I can remember what I did and it'll help me. But this is a clean out valve right here. We have a large septic solids tank right underneath this thing here. There's a lid that you can lift off, and we have a truck that comes out and pumps our solids sewage out maybe once every 3 years. And then this right here is access to another access point to the septic line. This right here, we put a septic chlorine tablet. It cannot be pool chlorine, it has to be a septic chlorine, and this one here. And then there's strains and filter lines that I sometimes have to clean out with a special tool. It's like a hose with a nozzle on the end. And anytime I get ready to make a video, it seems like it's always going to rain, so I'm going to have to carry this inside. But that right there is access to the liquid. The sump pump, the septic sump pump will kick in when the float switch gets high enough, and it sprays. There's a sprinkler right there, and there's a sprinkler right there, and there's a sprinkler behind the barn. Anyway, it's starting to rain. It just figures I get all my tools out, and I want to show you guys something real quick, but I can't have all this electronics in the rain. But you see this, I took the aerator apart, and right on the side you can see it has holes in it, and I've got to fix that with this diaphragm set. See, this is a new diaphragm set, so you don't have to replace hopefully the whole. That's an old one too. That's an old septic, but I've done this a few times. But let me turn off everything and run inside and bring all the tools inside. I can't have all my tools getting wet. Just figures as soon as I make this, it's going to start raining. Okay, we'll see you inside. All right, it's April the 3rd, the year 2020, and even in the middle of the apocalypse, repairs have to continue. You got to maintain your house and make sure your house is in good working order. But it's raining outside. I had to move inside now because I have to, in order to work on the electronics, you don't want everything getting wet. So this diaphragm set on this Matala, it's also sometimes known as a Hakko HK-60L or Matala Matala. They go for about 180 bucks if you buy the whole unit. However, you can buy this diaphragm set for an HK-60/80L, and that'll run you about $50. So as you can see, we have two diaphragms, and we will be replacing those, and I'm going to show you the crack ones and why this one was overheating and shutting down. But if you're replacing this diaphragm set once every few months, or even sooner, there's a problem with the back pressure in your aerobic septic system. So what I did, I set this CO2 tank, carbon dioxide tank, for about 50 psi. See how you hold that? And I blew that into the aerobic septic system for about 30 seconds and just made sure that it would, try to unblock any back pressure. Now, I'm not absolutely sure that's the right thing to do. If you know of a better way to make sure that you're not getting back pressure in your aerobic septic system and how to clean that up or clear that up, you let me know. But I just used a CO2 carbon dioxide tank and blew back in the system, and hopefully it will blow anything out. But in my particular situation, the gaskets are blowing about once every 2 years. And so with the Texas heat and how hot these things get, I'm going to say that's okay and not worry about it too much. But let's get to putting this new gasket on this system, and let me put my camera on the tripod for that purpose. Okay, we got the camera on the tripod. Let me show you how to take this thing apart. It's very, very easy. And hey, Aaron, could you come and just make sure everything is in the camera when I'm filming? I'll make it quick. So my wife's gonna, because I can't really see the camera while I'm doing this, and I just want to make sure. Just look at the camera, please. So you simply take this off. Is everything in the camera? Mm-hmm. And this comes off. You want to make sure this is clean. You know, they typically charge you like $100 to come out here and do that. But we'll do that ourselves. And let me say, this Matala, like I said, if you bought it brand new, is $180. But the gasket kits, hopefully that's in the camera, is just $50. So I'm going to lift. Now, to take this off, there's 4 screws on the bottom. And that would be these screws here. There's 4 of them. And you take those screws off with a Phillips head screwdriver. This lifts right off. I'll lift this out of the way. Hold on, Aaron. I want to make sure. Now, my wife's about to sneeze. Oh my gosh, she sneezed in the middle of the pandemic. So this right here, you simply take your fingers and you pull this connector off, pull the hose off the gasket. I've already pulled out the Phillips head screwdriver. There's 4 screws that holds on this gasket. That comes right off. Now, Aaron, am I showing? I don't know if you can see it, but it's cracked.
Down here, yeah.
It's cracked.
Closer to the...
You see the crack right there?
Yeah, closer. Bring it closer.
Let's see if it comes all the way off. You know what? I'm gonna have to get some pliers. Let's get some pliers. If I can find some pliers.
And we recommend people always keep the old parts because you never know when you might need them.
Now, if I knew what size that was, I would just get a wrench, but this is gonna do because I'm kind of in a hurry. So this will come right off, just twist off. So see how that come off? And this should slide right off. Mm-hmm. But you can tell it's ripped.
When did it break down? Yesterday?
I went out there this morning and hold on. I went out there this morning. Oh, there we go. All right, so can you show the crack? See how it's just blowing all the heck. See that? Can you make sure that's showed? So we're gonna open the bag of a new gasket, and notice the new gasket comes with new bolts and new washers. Can we show that? See how it came with a new bolt, new washer, so I don't have to save the old bolt. I mean, I will save it, but so I don't know if these things matter. Let's see if there's a left and a right. The best I can tell, this one, they are kind of labeled a little different. Maybe there is a difference in them. Let me see here for a second. This is the old one. And are we in the middle of the camera, babe?
Yep.
Okay. The old one went like that. Yeah, so, yeah. Okay, so it's a little arrow, and this is going to match up perfectly. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this and put it just like that. All right, so it looks like we've got this situated. This gasket situated properly on this side. Keep in mind we have one on the other side too. Now we're going to use the new nuts and the new bolt that came in the package. You don't want to lose any of these parts. It's just one little bolt and washer that falls off and really going to have a bad day. So I'm going to take one washer. Are we even in the camera? Can you believe it? Where did it go? Oh, there it went. Just as I'm talking about not losing parts, I drop a part. That's pretty good. That's typical for me. All right, so we're gonna put the washer just like that. Now, I'm gonna have to find the size of this before we go on. This is a little bitty bolt, and since this is the new one, I really don't want to use a pair of pliers. I want to find the proper nut driver. Okay, looks like it's 9/32. So we will try to get it started here. Looks like it's a lock nut too, so it won't back off. So we'll get that started, get it on there pretty good. And you know what? I'm going to take off the other gasket just to see how far, to give me a reference for how far I should go on that bolt. And this one don't want to slip off, so it may have to be twisted. There we go. This gasket is all torn to crap too, so okay. Now if I use this one as a reference, you guys see that? See how that gasket is torn all to crap? But that doesn't go on there very far, right? It just went on there in a little bit of, so that tells me that I've got this one on there pretty good too. And hopefully that was in the camera. But anyway, let's finish this one up. Now, this looks like the new one. I'm going to line it up so that the holes go over properly and lined up. Put this on. Put this hose on. Bring this clamp, finger clamp. There we go. There we go. All right. So now what we got is we got to get these 4 screws using our 11-in-1. And what did I do with my 11-in-1? Here's my 11-in-1 with the Phillips head. All right. So we have done that one on that side. Now we got to do this one on this side. And as you see, it comes with a bolt and a washer for this gasket. We learned that it was 9/32 is the size. We'll take this off. Hopefully you guys see that. Okay, see? Hopefully you guys see that. Let me look at the camera to make dang sure. I can't see nothing. There you go. See that? So that gasket is obviously bad. Also, it appears there's a notch out over here, and this notch lines up with that notch over there. So you have to know that you're getting it in the right orientation. Okay, that's pretty snug. So we've replaced our gaskets on both sides. You guys see that? That's one. And we got our finger clamp in the right place. You turn it around. And you guys see that? It's hard for me to get the camera lined up. You got 2. And you got your finger clamp. So this thing's ready to be put back together. Let's go ahead and get it put back together. All right, so let's put the cover back on this thing. We got, you see this notch? You got a notch here for your electrical right there. And if I turn this thing around, you'll see it better probably, but your electrical's right there. And that sits right there, so you'll want to match up that notch with your electrical. There you go. can turn this thing completely upside down now. And you got 4 screws. Whoops. Wrong tool. You got 4 screws. That's snug. And that's snug. So now we gotta just put the filter on the top on. So you can wash that better if you want, but I think that's good enough for government work. And this has a notch. You guys see that notch, right? Hold on. Right there. See that notch? That notch has to match a notch right there in order for this cover to go on the proper way. So now we got the cover on. And you simply tighten this down. And now you got a new diaphragm set. It's ready to go. We hook up our electrical. We still got our hose right here. And let me get my wife to hold the camera and let's go outside and hook it up. See what happens. Back outside, it's a slow drizzle. We're gonna try to wrap this up. It's very easy to install. Before we get started, we're gonna double check and make sure we don't have any electricity on the wires. So I'm checking for any voltage at all. There's no voltage, which remember I showed you guys the breaker was turned off. I set this to about 50 PSI. It blows air, so I'm gonna blow air back inside. I just want to make sure I eliminate any blockages or back pressure, because if you have back pressure in this line, you will blow out your gaskets frequently. Didn't seem to be too big of a problem. So let's move this out of the way. Let's get this on the line as best we can. That looks pretty good. See how easy that was? We're going to take our finger clamp. Do a little grunting. You always got to grunt. There we go. Okay.
Just don't cuss.
Don't cuss. No cussing. Okay, this thing's falling over on me. Let's move this out of the way. Okay, now we got to hook up our electricity. Black goes to black.
It's good to do it in the rain.
Yeah, but at least we know we're not going to shock ourselves. But it is kind of wet. I don't like that, but it is what it is. Let's use these little twisters. So I'll probably, that wire nut is busted. I'll probably come out here with some electrical tape, but for right now we'll let it be. Now, Aaron, I'm gonna go turn the thing on. Just keep, I want you to hear this come on.
Okay.
Right?
You're gonna flip the switch?
I'm gonna flip the breaker, yeah. Keep the camera on until I get out here.
Stand back. It's ready to go. Anybody got any good jokes? Ooh, we have success. It sounds great. Congratulations, that's my hero. He keeps my septic smelling fresh and clean. And I love him.
Come on.
Yep.
Can you hear it?
Yep.
Good. So let me show how it puts the cover back on. And hopefully you guys can hear. This one kind of got busted a little bit. I probably should be doing this when the electricity's off, I know. But
We're just the red, we represent the rednecks.
yeah, you follow proper safety procedures, not what I do. So
This is not a cure. You can't say the word cure.
all right. So now we got an aerobic septic system. It's running again.
It smells fresh and clean.
In order to protect ourselves from the weather, we put this box over it. Now snakes and frogs will crawl up there, but that's the way it goes. And there you go. That's a $50 repair. A $50 repair instead of buying a $200. It would be $200 just for the parts. You pay somebody to come out here, you're looking at $400 or $500. So we did the whole thing for $50. God bless you. Have a great day. And even in the apocalypse, you got to do repairs around the house. Take care, everyone.